Do you want to stop feeling behind all the time? Your next 90 days could change everything, and I'm about to show you how. If you're new here, my name's Tanya. I'm a music teacher, passive income and SEO specialist, and a planning fanatic. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to set your goals up in 90-day increments so that you can make sure you achieve them, leaving you feeling like a success. If that sounds good to you, give this video a big thumbs up and let's get into it. Most of us associate goal setting with January. You know, those New Year's resolutions we all set, and by February or maybe March if we're lucky, they've blown right out the window. Well, it's because we're trying to set these huge goals that are just hard to keep the eye on the prize. We don't break them down. We don't have milestones that we're gonna hit between. We're just like, I am gonna go to the gym 5 times a week and I am gonna lose 100 pounds. But do you ever check back in with that goal? Do you ever see how you're doing or log your progress? A lot of times that just doesn't happen. And by setting your goals quarterly or every 90 days, it means that we can take those big goals we may set in January and break them into smaller pieces to make them more attainable for us. And if you're a business owner like myself, the business world tends to work in quarters anyway, and it's a great way to reset. But you don't have to be a business owner to have a quarterly reset. Quarterly resets are great for everyone because it helps us check in with where we are right now and set a smaller goal to achieve over the next few months, because a few months is so much more attainable than a full year. Now, I've been doing quarterly goal setting for some time now, and I have used so many systems. I've tried setting huge goals that I'll never accomplish. I've set so many goals that I honestly didn't have enough time to actually physically achieve. And I've used the HB90 system, which worked great for me for a while. And I still use elements of that system. I have a whole video on that system I'll link below. But even that doesn't work for me all the time, and I have to tweak and adjust. So know that goal setting is personal to each and every individual, and it may look a little different for everyone. So I'm gonna walk you through exactly what I am doing this quarter to set my quarterly goals, and I want you to come along with me. So grab a pencil and paper or grab your laptop. I want you to sit down with me and we're gonna brainstorm our goals together and we're gonna get a plan put together. So the first thing that I did when I sat down to plan out my quarterly goals is I looked at any commitments I already had in my calendar. Any podcast interviews I was already doing, anything I had already promised as far as my membership is concerned, anything I've committed to personally, I made sure to note every single commitment I have over the next 3 months. And that's important because those have to be accomplished. Anything that you've committed to, you have to do. So that's going to take time away from any new projects you can add. Now, I know that seems frustrating. You're like, no, I don't have as much time. But here's the deal. It's going to help you in the long run because you're not going to overschedule yourself. You're not going to feel like you're constantly behind. And that brings me to point 2. I want you to sit down and look at how much time you actually have. I want you to take in mind your job. If you're self-employed like me, keep in mind everything that you have to do for your business on a regular basis, daily, weekly, even monthly. Think about your kids' soccer practice. Think about dance recitals. Think about your commute time back and forth to all of these things. And I want you to sit down and calculate how many hours a week that is. Write it on a calendar, print out a spreadsheet with an hourly grid on it, and just plug that stuff in. Then I want you to look at what's left over. How much of that time are you willing to commit to your goals? And before you say all of it, stop right there. I want you to think about, you have to eat lunch. Make sure to account for that. You want to spend time with your family after work. We are not about go, 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 go. You need to live your life because no matter what you do, you're not going to enjoy it if you're not living your life. So make sure you account for that as well. And then I want you to look and see how much time you have left every single month. And then I want you to multiply that times 3 because we are going to have 3 months. Now for me, when I did this, when I looked at everything I already had on my calendar, and I looked at everything that I need to do on a regular basis for my business, and I kept in mind I don't start working before 8 o'clock in the morning, and I make sure to finish working at 6 p.m. every day, and I don't work on weekends. I took all of that time out. That left me with around 201 hours. Now, I prefer to break things into 30-minute task blocks like Sarah Cannon teaches in the HP90 system. This is not a new idea. This is not just Sarah Cannon's idea. This is based off the Pomodoro method, where you work for 25 minutes and give yourself a 5-minute break. So I broke it down into those little blocks of time, and I had 402 blocks of time, 30-minute blocks of time to work with. That's what I had for the quarter. Now, I want you to do that as well. How many blocks of time? You can look at it in hours or you can look at it in half hours, whatever works best for you. And I want you to brainstorm any potential goal that you want to accomplish in the next 3 months. Now, I did this too, and I just started writing goal after goal after goal. And here's the deal, we're not gonna accomplish all of them. This is just a brain dump of potential goals that you want to achieve. So for me, a lot of these are business related goals. So it might be an income goal I want to hit, or here on YouTube, it might be a subscriber account I want to hit. You might be entering a weight loss goal, or maybe how many steps a day you want to hit. Your goal may be related to finance and budget. It might be a no spend goal or a savings goal. Just get it out on the paper. Once you've done that, I want you to think of the projects that you have in mind that could relate to those goals. So for me personally, some of my projects, I have a big quarterly planning project that I was going to do this quarter, but chemo knocked me out of the park this quarter. So we are doing it this quarter. It is going to be in September, and I am going to do a quarterly planning workshop where we do something like this, but in way more depth and detail. And we're all on a call together so that you can do it along with me, and I can answer your questions as we go and help give you ideas. So keep that in mind for later. But for now, we are doing this on YouTube. So think through those projects you want to do. So for me, it's that quarterly workshop. Another one for me is I want to launch my podcast. I was planning on launching it in Q2, but chemotherapy, once again, altered my life. So we're moving it to Q3. And there's a lesson to be learned there. Sometimes life happens and you have to move things around. I didn't hit all of my quarterly goals this quarter, although I've done really well on 2 of them, just not that podcast. And I want you to write down any projects. So, if you're in business, it could be your next launch that you want to plan out. You're going to do a big launch in Q3. Or maybe you want to deep clean your house once the kids go back to school. And that's going to be your project you're working on. It could be your weight loss goal, and that's the project. And it's going to involve many things like changing your diet, getting a gym membership. I want you to brainstorm all the projects that you want to do this quarter. Now that you have that done, the next thing you are going to do is you're going to go through that list of projects and you're going to estimate how much time each of them are going to take you. How many hours or how many half-hour blocks is it going to take you to do those projects? So some of them are going to be easy, like if you're planning out a launch. If you've planned launches before, you have an idea of how long that takes. I know that planning out my quarterly workshop is going to take a little time, and it's probably going to take about 5 hours of my time to get that done. I know that my podcast launch, this is new to me. I've never done it before. I've given it 10 hours or 20 half-hour blocks. So think about cleaning your house, deep cleaning your house. How long does it typically take you to clean your kitchen? If it typically takes you 30 minutes, give yourself an hour because we're deep cleaning, so there's extra cleaning involved. Now, if it's that weight loss goal, that's gonna be a little more detailed, and we'll talk about that later. But you can kind of think through, okay, getting a gym membership, that's gonna take you no more than 30 minutes. At most, and that includes driving to the gym. If your gym is more than 30 minutes away, you are not going to go to it. Think about healthy eating, okay? Healthy eating, you have to come up with a plan. So you're going to probably spend a couple of hours doing a little research on meal ideas, etc., recipes. And then count in your workouts as well, because you're probably going to want to get them in during the part of the day you're not spending with family. So how many workouts a week? Calculate how much time it's going to take. So as you can see, this isn't just business. This can be applied to everyday life as well. Now, once you've calculated how much time all that's going to take, I want you to then look at how much time you actually have. And my guess is all of your projects you want to do are going to take way more time than you actually have. At least that's the way it was for me when I first started doing this. As a matter of fact, this quarter was the first quarter that they actually lined up pretty closely. And I think that's because I've been planning this way for a long time. And I had to be real with myself, even when I was writing some stuff down, that's not going to happen. Now, I want you to be brutal now with that list. I want you to go through it and cross off anything that is not of the utmost importance. The number of hours you have estimated for the quarter. And I know you're like, no, I have to get all this done. We're not getting rid of it forever. We're gonna create another page that has future projects on it, okay? If your quarterly goal was to lose 25 pounds by doing all of this, that may not be realistic. Maybe your quarterly goal is to lose 15 pounds. That might be a little more realistic, or even 12 pounds. That would be about a pound a week. And that is realistic. So think about that. Deep cleaning your entire house and losing 12 pounds and making sure you read 10 books, all of that may not be possible. So you need to sit down and start trimming the fat. Trim anything that is not of the utmost importance to you. And notice I say to you because these are your goals. These are what you want to do. And remember, we're not getting rid of it forever. We're simply moving it to another quarter where we will do all this again. So I encourage you to have something like a notebook or a bullet journal to do this in, so you can create a page in it that says future ideas and just park all of your goals right there on that page with your future ideas. And that way, next quarter, you can revisit it and you can come back to some of those ideas. Okay, now it's time to set the goals. So we've already looked at what projects that we can actually accomplish, right? We want to go back and look at our goals and see which goals those projects align with. Okay, so one of my goals, I'm going to be very transparent there, it's to increase my income. So which goals on my list are going to help me increase my income? Well, that quarterly planning workshop, having that running is going to increase my income. Upping my YouTube subscribers means I'm gonna have more views. Having more views means I'm going to have more revenue coming in from YouTube. Another element of that increasing my income would be boost my affiliate revenue from YouTube. Anytime I film one of these videos, if I mention a product, I link it in the description. If you click that link and it goes to Amazon and you make a purchase, then I get a very small percentage. It's usually 3 to 4%. It doesn't cost you anything, but it does bring in revenue to me to help pay for this channel, help keep it running, help giving you free advice and free tips like this. It helps pay my fabulous video editor who does all this editing. And that's something that I need to do. I need to increase the revenue so that this channel starts paying for itself, because right now I've been investing a lot in this channel and I want to get this channel to where it is funding itself instead of my other businesses funding this YouTube channel. So when I set my goals, I picked 2 very realistic goals and I picked a stretch goal. My stretch goal is one that I don't know that I'm going to be able to achieve, and that was to increase my revenue. I want to earn $30,000 in quarter 3. I've never earned $30,000 in a quarter before. That's a big goal for me, but my earnings in quarter one and quarter two were significantly down from last year because I had surgery. I had to have a double mastectomy for my breast cancer. I'm also going through chemo, which meant I had to table a lot of projects. I had to cancel a lot of my music lessons, which means I lost income. So I need to boost my income in quarter three and quarter four to hit my revenue goal for the year. That's why I'm setting such a big goal. I don't know exactly how I'm going to achieve it yet, but that is the goal I'm going for. Now, other goals I have are hitting 5,000 YouTube subscribers. That's a little bit of a stretch, but it is possible. And I want to sell 20 spots in my planning workshop. Okay. Now the 20 spots in my planning workshop, they still apply to my stretch goal of making $30,000. So I am going to nest those two together. That's how I'm going to break down my stretch goal. They go together. So see if any of your goals pair up with each other. My third goal is to launch my podcast and get 4 episodes up and running by the end of August. And that is so totally doable for me. I know I can get that done. So I have a safety goal, I have a kind of stretch goal, and I have a really out there stretch goal. I want you to have those goals somewhere you can see them every single day. It might be on your nightstand where you look at them before you go to bed and then you look at them again when you get up in the morning. If you work from home, maybe you put them on your desk where you see them on a regular basis. Then you're gonna come in purposefully every quarter and you're gonna reevaluate those goals. You're gonna see where you are right now. So at the end of July, I'm gonna see how much money I made in July. That's gonna tell me how much money I need to make to hit my $30,000 goal. Then, bonus points if you tell somebody about your goals. It can be your spouse, it can be your sister, it can be your mom, it can be your best friend. Tell somebody about your goals and make sure it's somebody who's going to support you in your goals, because just by saying it out loud really helps. It motivates you. You put it out into the universe that you are going to accomplish that goal. So as you can see, by setting your goals in these smaller 3-month chunks, it's a more attainable goal that you're more likely to accomplish. You're less likely to just forget about. And then by revisiting it and telling someone about it, it's gonna help. And you might be there going, you know what, this is all great, but I really don't have anybody. I'm afraid to tell someone my goal. I think it's too big. That's okay. Tell us in the comments. I want you to share your big scary goal in the comments so that we can all support each other in this. I shared my big scary goal with you. Now I want you to share yours in the comment. And if you loved this video, I'm sure you're gonna like this next video coming up too. And until next time, peace out.